What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be starting our new series. So what this series is it's A to Z series on different animal facts. So how it will work is we have 6 different animals ranging from mammals all the way to bugs, and I'm going to tell you some interesting facts about the animals so we can all learn. So, the first one is A. So, A, we have 6 animals. Some of them might have less because, well, not every letter has a lot of animals for it. But, let's start with the aardvark. So, the aardvark is found all over Africa, in places like Kenya, Sudan, Chad, Zambia, and a whole load of other places. Their life expectancy in the wild is usually 18 years, and then while they're captive it's 20, which isn't a big difference, but it's still a difference to help them live a bit longer. Aardvarks have a tongue that can reach 30 centimeters long, which is coated with a very sticky saliva to help them catch their prey. Aardvarks are insectivores, which means they eat ants, termites, and a load of other different bugs. They also hunt at night, and they move around at night because they are nocturnal. So they are not. So if you ever go to like a zoo, you'll also see that you won't usually see an aardvark, which is because they are nocturnal, so they'll more than likely be sleeping, which if you were to see one awake, it's a bit odd and means it might not be able to display its natural behaviours. But some zoos have these windows in the houses and things where you can see the aardvark sleeping. And then finally, their conservation status is least concerned, which is a really, really good place to be, because you don't want to be on the extinct in the wild, or vulnerable, or even highly endangered on that list. But that is the aardvark. Next on the list is the armadillo lizard. So this is a reptile, and they get their name from a defense mechanism where it grabs its tail, rolls up into a really tight ring, and is pretty much, it's like an armadillo. They also have armor on their backs, which it's like an armadillo, and it looks exactly like an armadillo. Okay, they are usually found, they are endemic, should I say, to South Africa. Endemic means they are only found in that area. In the wild, they can live up to 12 to 25 years, which is a big range. But in the wild, we don't have any record of them living for how long. So if you guys can find out for me, if you put it down in the comments and let me know, hopefully we can then find out if they do have a lifespan in the wild and how big or small it is. The armadillo lizard is an insectivore, which means they eat termites, ants, beetles, anything like that. They are diurnal, which means they are awake during the day, like a lot of us or a lot of other animals. And on the conservation list, they are in the vulnerable section, which isn't great, but it's not bad. They could be helped with breeding programs and all this other stuff, but it just takes time. Okay, now we'll go on to the amphibian. So the amphibian we've got is an axolotl. Axolotls are endemic to Mexico. Sorry. Axolotls are really well known for their extreme regenerative abilities. So, axolotls, if they were to lose a limb, lose part of their organs, they have that ability to regenerate it. And humans, which isn't great, but it can change for humans, are looking into hopefully doing something with their regenerative abilities to do things with hearts, lungs, kidneys, all this other stuff. Axolotls in the wild live for 3 to 10 years, and in captivity it's 8 to 20, which is a big gap, but it's not the best lifespan for these animals, especially how cute they are, like these pictures here. Okay, axolotls are nocturnal, which means, of course, they're awake during the night. They are carnivores, so they eat small fishes and worms. In captivity, you'll usually feed them worms and things like that. And then axolotls are critically endangered, which isn't great at all. This is a really a place where you don't want to be. Sorry. Where you don't want to be on the conservation list. Alright then, let's move on to the African fish eagle. So this is our bird, and this is, so they are usually found all across Africa. I'm not going to name all the places because there were a lot of places. And they are, if you're wondering why I'm looking over there, my notes are on there. I'm just trying to remember all this stuff. They are found, so they're found in Africa, yeah. Their lifespan in the wild is 5 to 25 years, and in captivity it's 10 to 30. So it's a big gap again for both sides, but it's a big number, especially in the animal kingdom. African fish eagles, they are really interesting when it comes to breeding. So the breeding pairs usually reuse the same nests that they have made in previous years, which is really interesting. They are diurnal, so it means they're active during the day. They are piscivores, which are, they eat fish, and they are least concerned on the conservation status. Here's a few more pictures of African fish eagles, and yeah, let's move on. This one was only a short one, but let's move on to our fish. The fish that we are talking about is the Asian arowana. So the Asian arowana is found, of course, across the coast of Asia. They are in the wild, they can live to 10 to 20 years, and in captivity 15 to 25 years. Arowanas in captivity are hard to look after, and I'll tell you why. So arowanas have a tendency to they are surface orientated predators, which means they catch things on the surface, and they are now notorious for jumping out of open fish tanks in captivity, which I've seen a lot of people lose these fish from jumping out of the fish tanks. They are crepuscular, I've probably butchered that, but they are active during dawn and dusk. Our arowanas are carnivores, so they eat small fish, insects, and sometimes small vertebrates. So that could include mice or anything like that, really. On the conservation status list, they are endangered, which isn't the highest it can be, but it's still high, which isn't great for the animal. Okay, and finally, our last animal we are going on to today is the armyworm. So, the armyworm is our insect. They are native to South and parts of North America. They are an invasive species to Africa, Australia, and parts of Asia. which when I was looking at the invasive map, it was a big area. I'll try get it up for you, but it might be difficult because it's also on a website, which I'm not sure if they will let me screenshot it or anything like that, but I'll try my best. If so, it will turn up here. They are in the wild. They can live from 25 to 90 years, which is actually a really big gap for them living. But in captivity, it's less, where it's at 28 to 45 in captivity, which is a bit odd, which we don't see that often. It's usually an increased lifespan. The armyworms are omnivores and will eat large larvae. They'll eat rice, sugarcane, and even cotton, which is very odd for an animal. Females can lay up to 2,000 eggs during her lifetime, which, now you look at it, isn't that much, because from 25 to 90 years, that's not a lot of eggs, but it's still a lot of eggs. They are nocturnal animals, which, you know what nocturnal means, but also in their conservation status, they are not evaluated on it, so we don't know, which actually we do know. They're not in any harm with the amount of invasive species there are for this animal. It's unlikely they'll ever go extinct for a while. But that's all we have for today. So that was our A for animals, and next time it will be B, of course. So hope you guys enjoyed this educational video. Let me know down in the comments any other animals starting with B this time, and also let me know about I think it was the armadillo lizard and their wild lifespan. And don't forget to like and subscribe and don't forget, I believe you can turn on notifications, so turn on your notifications for when I post another video. That's all for today. I'll see you guys next time.